Hercules is a 1997 American animated musical fantasy film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation and released by Walt Disney Pictures. The 35th animated feature in the Walt Disney Animated Classics series, the film was directed by Ron Clements and John Musker. The film is loosely based on the legendary hero Hercules, the son of Zeus, in Greek mythology. Development of Hercules began in 1992 following a pitch adaptation of the Heracles mythological stories by animated Joe Hader. Meanwhile, Ron Clements and John Musker redeveloped their idea for Treasure Planet following the critical and commercial success of Aladdin. Their project was removed from development in 1993, and Musker and Clements joined Hercules later that same year, following an unused treatment by Hader. Clements and Musker studied multiple interpretations of Greek mythology before abandoning Zeus's adulterous affair with Alcmene. The project underwent multiple story treatments and a first script draft being inspired by the screwball comedy films of the classic Hollywood era, and popular culture of the 1990s before Donald McHenry, Bob Shaw, and Irene Mecchi were brought on board to shorten the script and deliver additional humor. British cartoonist Gerald Scarfe was recruited as production designer, where over 700 visualization designs of the characters were produced, and research trips to Greece and Turkey provided inspiration for the background designs. Animation for the film was done in California and Paris. Computer animation was utilized in several scenes, predominantly in the Hydra battle sequence. Hercules was released on June 27, 1997 to positive reviews from film reviewers who praised James Woods' portrayal of Hades. Despite the positive critical reception, the film underperformed in its theatrical release, notably in comparison to its predecessors, before ultimately earning $252.7 million in box office revenue worldwide. Hercules was later followed by the direct-to-video prequel, Hercules: Zero to Hero, which served as the pilot to Hercules, the animated series, a syndicated Disney TV series focusing on Hercules during his time at the Prometheus Academy. Plot: after imprisoning the Titans beneath the ocean, the Greek gods gather to Mount Olympus for Zeus and his wife Hera have a son named Hercules. While the other gods are joyful, Zeus, a jealous brother Hades, plots to overthrow Zeus and rule Mount Olympus. Turning to the fates for help, Hades learns that in 18 years, a planetary alignment will allow Hades to locate and free the Titans to conquer Olympus, but only if Hercules does not interfere. Hades sends his minions Pain and Panic to dispose of Hercules. The two succeed at kidnapping and feeding him a formula that turns him mortal, but fail to remove his superhuman strength before Hercules is found and adopted by the farmers Amphitryon and Alcmene. Years later, the teenaged Hercules becomes an outcast due to his strength, and wonders where he came from. After his foster parents reveal the necklace they found him with, Hercules decides to visit the Temple of Zeus for answers. The temple's statue of Zeus comes to life and reveals all to Hercules, telling him that he can regain his godhood by becoming a true hero. Zeus sends Hercules and his forgotten infanthood friend Pegasus to find the Satyr Phil for short, who is known for training heroes. The two meet Phil, who has retired from training heroes due to numerous disappointments. But Hercules inspires him to follow his dream to train a true hero who will be recognized by the gods. Phil trains Hercules into a potential hero, and when he is older, they fly for Thebes. On the way, they meet Megara, Meg for short, a sarcastic damsel whom Hercules saves from the centaur Nessus. However, after Hercules, Phil, and Pegasus leave, Meg is revealed to be Hades' minion, having sold her soul to him to save an unfaithful lover. Arriving in Thebes, Hercules is turned down by the downtrodden citizens until Meg says that two boys are trapped in a gorge. Hercules saves them, unaware that they are Pain and Panic in disguise, allowing Hades to summon the Hydra to fight Hercules. Hercules continually cuts off its heads, but more heads replace them until Hercules kills the monster by causing a landslide. Hercules is seen as a hero and a celebrity, but Zeus tells Hercules he is not yet a true hero. Driven to depression, Hercules turns to Meg, who is falling in love with him. Hades learns of this and on the eve of his takeover, offers a deal that Hercules gives up his powers for 24 hours on the condition that Meg will be unharmed. Hercules accepts, losing his strength, and is heartbroken when Hades reveals that Meg is working for him. Hades unleashes the Titans, who climb Olympus and capture the gods, while the Cyclops goes to Thebes to kill Hercules. Phil inspires Hercules to fight and kill the Cyclops, but Meg is crushed by a falling pillar, saving Hercules from it, allowing him to regain his strength. Hercules and Pegasus fly to Olympus, where they free the gods and launch the Titans into space, where they explode. Though Meg dies before he returns to her, with Meg's soul now Hades' property, Hercules breaks into the underworld, where he negotiates with Hades to free Meg from the Styx in exchange for his own life. His willingness to sacrifice his life restores his godhood and immortality before the life-draining river can kill him. He rescues Meg and punches Hades into the Styx. After reviving Meg, she and Hercules are summoned to Olympus, where Zeus and Hera welcome their son home. However, Hercules chooses to remain on Earth with Meg. Hercules returns to Thebes, where he is hailed as a true hero as Zeus creates a picture of Hercules in the stars commemorating his heroism. Voice cast: Tate Donovan as Hercules, based on the mythological deity Heracles. Supervising animator Andreas Deja described Hercules as, not a smart aleck, not streetwise, he's just a naive kid trapped in a big body. And that Donovan had a charming yet innocent quality in his readings. Donovan had not done any voiceover work prior to Hercules. Deja integrated Donovan's charming yet innocent quality into Hercules' expressions. Josh Keaton provided the speaking voice of Hercules as a teenager, while Roger Bart provided his singing voice. Originally, Keaton provided also his singing voice, but his singing was re-recorded by Bart. Randy Haycock served as the supervising animator for Hercules as an infant and teenager. Danny DeVito as Philoctetes. Phil. Eric Goldberg, the supervising animator for Philoctetes, cited Grumpy in Snow White and Bacchus in Fantasia as the inspirations for the character's design. Goldberg mentioned that they discovered that Danny DeVito has really different mouth shapes when they videotaped his recordings, and that they used these shapes in animating Phil. James Woods as Hades. Producer Alice Dewey mentioned that Hades was supposed to talk in a slow and be menacing in a quiet, spooky way, but thought that James Woods' manner of speaking, a mile a minute, would be a great take for a villain. Woods did a lot of ad-libbing in his recordings, especially in Hades' dialogues with Megara. Nick Ranieri, the supervising animator for Hades, mentioned that the character was based on a Hollywood agent, a car salesman type, and that a lot came from James Woods' ad-lib dialogue. He went on to say that the hardest part in animating Hades was that he talks too much and too fast. So much so that it took him 2 weeks to animate a 1-second scene. Ranieri watched James Woods' other films and used what he saw as the basis for Hades' sneer. Susan Egan as Megara. Supervising animator Ken Duncan stated that she was based on a 40s screwball comedienne, and that he used Greek shapes for her hair. Frank Welker as Pegasus. Ellen Woodbury served as the supervising animator for Pegasus. Rip Torn and Samantha Egger as Zeus and Hera, Hercules' birth parents. Anthony DeRosa served as the supervising animator for both characters. In the Swedish dub, Max von Sydow provided the voice for Zeus. Lily as White, Cheryl Freeman, Lashons, Roz Ryan and Van Elza Y. Thomas as the Muses, the narrators of the film's story. Michael Show served as the supervising animator for the Muses. Bobcat Goldthwait and Matt Frewer as Pain and Panic, Hades' henchmen. James Lopez and Brian Ferguson respectively served as the supervising animators for Pain and Panic. Patrick Pinney as the Cyclops. Dominique Monfrey served as the supervising animator for the Cyclops. Hal Holbrook and Barbara Barry as Amphitryon and Alcmene, Hercules' adoptive parents. Richard Basley served as the supervising animator for both characters. Amanda Plummer, Carol Shelley and Paddy Edwards as Clotho, Lachesis, Atropos, the three fates who predict Hades' attempt to conquer Olympus. Nancy Bayman served as the supervising animator for the three characters. Paul Schaffer as Hermes. Michael Swafford served as the animator for Hermes. Jim Cummings as Nessus. Chris Bailey served as the animator for Nessus. Wayne Knight as Demetrius. Keith David as Apollo. Charlton Heston has a cameo role as the opening narrator.